worker turns over a Diddy freak off tape. One of Sean Diddy Combs' alleged encounters with a sex worker was videotaped, and the tape is now in the hands of federal prosecutors. TMZ has learned. Sources with direct knowledge tell TMZ the male sex worker met with the feds Wednesday in NYC and signed a proffer agreement, which allows him to speak to federal investigators without fear of prosecution. We're told the conversation revolved around Diddy, with the man explaining how he got in touch with an escort to engage in a freak-off involving himself, Diddy, and a woman. As we reported, prosecutors have said the freak-offs, instances of group sex, are the center of their criminal case against Combs. Our sources say the man also dished on what types of drugs Diddy allegedly liked to use during the sessions, as well as details about one specific encounter he claims was caught on tape. Our sources say the threesome went down in May 2023, when the sex worker claims he flew from Atlanta to Miami to meet up with Diddy and the woman, and he ended up having intercourse with her while Diddy filmed the encounter. We're told the sex worker had a copy of the video from that alleged encounter, and turned it over to the agents who met with him. What's interesting about the sex worker's account is it lines up with what Diddy's attorney Mark Agnifilo told us about the freak-offs. We spoke to him for the new TMZ Studios documentary, The Downfall of Diddy, the indictment, and he said the freak-offs were not wild orgies and simply threesomes with consenting adults. As you know, law enforcement officers arrested Combs last week in NYC. They've charged him with sex trafficking, racketeering conspiracy, and transportation to engage in prostitution. The U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York declined to comment on this story, and Diddy's camp did not respond when we reached out to them. Grand jury is still looking into the allegations against him, hearing from at least one more sex worker about their alleged relationship with the mogul, and it's possible it could lead to new charges. Sources with direct knowledge tell TMZ the grand jury is absolutely still convened, and this week it heard testimony from a male escort who said he's interacted with Diddy in the past. We're told the testimony covered Diddy's alleged outreach to the escort and his willingness to participate in a freak-off. Our sources say the grand jury testimony also focused on travel, including whether Diddy had ever transported the escort across state lines or into another country. They also asked about alleged payments made to the escort, specifically whether any such payments were made in cash or via wire transfer. We've heard from multiple sources, the reason the grand jury is still meeting is because prosecutors might seek to bring additional charges in a superseding indictment against Diddy. Now, a source close to Diddy tells us, he's focused on the facts and preparing his defense. He maintains his innocence of these charges. As we told you, a different male sex worker spoke to federal investigators earlier this week, detailing an alleged sexual encounter with Diddy and another woman, and handing over an alleged sex tape to feds. Attorney Damian Williams was still looking into Diddy's case to potentially add charges. Remember, when announcing the indictment against Diddy, Williams was asked if more charges could be brought related to the case, and he wasn't taking anything off the table. As you know, Diddy's already pled not guilty to sex trafficking, kidnapping and racketeering charges, and he's currently being held without bail in a notorious NYC jail. The U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York declined to comment for this story. A Houston-based law firm is representing more than 50 alleged victims who say they've faced sexual assault and abuse from Diddy and his associates, and they're predicting the group will keep growing as the case progresses. Attorney Tony Busby made some serious allegations on his firm's IG, saying the group of men and women who came forward have gut-wrenching stories about what went down at Diddy's alleged freak-off parties. He detailed the alleged mind-boggling violations against them as debauchery and depravity exacted by powerful people. Busby claimed some of the accusers were minors when the alleged incidents occurred, and mentioned plans for a press conference where individuals can share their stories. While he has not yet filed, Busby says he intends to file a class action lawsuit on behalf of all the victims early next week. To be clear, there's no known evidence supporting Busby's allegation some of the victims were minors, nor have any previous lawsuits or even the federal indictment allege that. We've reached out to Diddy's camp for comment, but have not heard back yet. As we've reported, Diddy's alleged freak-off parties are at the heart of the federal indictment for sex trafficking, kidnapping, and racketeering.
Okay, Larry, spill the tea. What are you hearing about Diddy's eating?
Well, I got an inside source there at MDC, and if they knew who it was, they'd really plot. When people go into custody, They have anxiety, they're depressed, a lot of things go through their mind. And one of the things they do is they stop eating. Look what happened to Jeff Epstein. I got people every day saying, you think they're going to Epstein him? And I go, well, I really don't know. Imagine if someone paid someone off on the inside to actually poison his food, give him a heart attack, and he dies. And no one would really think anything of it. So that may be one of the reasons he's not eating. There's a possibility that he wants to go on a kosher diet. It's prepared a little bit differently. It's a religious diet. That could be another aspect as well.
Sources with direct knowledge tell TMZ, the male worker met with the feds Wednesday in NYC and signed a proffer agreement, which allows him to speak to federal investigators without fear of prosecution. Our sources say the man details about one specific encounter he claims was caught on tape. Our sources say the threesome went down in May 2023, when the ex-worker claims he flew from Atlanta to Miami to meet up with Diddy and the woman, and he ended up having intercourse with her while Diddy filmed the encounter. We're told the ex-worker had a copy of the video from that alleged encounter, and turned it over to the agents who met with him.
This is the type of indictment you would expect from someone in the mafia.
I don't know that I could keep him off the stand. He is very eager to tell his story.
They're going to show that video over and over and over about what happens to women that won't change their stories.
His reputation is over.
The United States government, they start making this case as a takedown of a successful black man.
TMZ presents The Downfall of Diddy, the indictment. I've interviewed a lot of people for this documentary, and a lot of them have said game over after they saw the Cassie video. Does this compel you to put him on the stand and explain it?
I don't know that I could keep him off the stand. I think he is very eager to tell his story. And I think he will tell every part of his story, including what you see on the video. So I expect it's going to be explained by the both of us.
It's kind of breathtaking that what you're telling me is that Diddy is going to take the stand and he will be cross-examined about this video, about the violence in the video, about the freak-offs, about allegedly blowing up a car, all of those things. That feels kind of dicey.
He has his story, and he has a story that I think only he can tell in the way he can tell it in real time. And it's a human story. It's a story of love. It's a story of hurt. It's a story of heartbreak. I mean, when he describes that relationship, the word he uses more than any other word is heartbreak. He was heartbroken. She was heartbroken.
As you come on to the page, kindly hit the like bell and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so as yet. And don't forget to put on your notification bell so you can be notified when I drop the next video. Thank you.
Diddy's not afraid of other inmates giving him a poisoned apple in prison, cause TMZ has learned he's not as paranoid about what's going into his food as some have suggested. Here's the deal, multiple outlets have reported Diddy's stopped eating behind bars because he's paranoid about someone poisoning his food at New York's notorious MDC Brooklyn. However, a source close to Diddy says this is total BS. He's eating normal jailhouse food like any other inmate. The music mogul receives no special treatment. We've already told you all about Diddy's food options in the can. It ain't Nobu by any means, but it's not going still puffy. Diddy's currently locked up in Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, with 2 different judges denying him bail last week despite the huge $50 million package and security offer his lawyers offered to ensure he shows up at trial.
As you leave the page, don't forget to hit the like bell and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.